Welcome everyone to another edition of Making an Impact. I'm your host, Simply Sensational Billy James here. And this week I am rocking, and I'll try to stand up so you guys can see, my Austin Aries t-shirt. The greatest man that ever lived. I got this in a house show in Knoxville, Tennessee. And I got to see Austin Aries for my second time seeing him wrestle. I've seen Aries wrestle 3 times. The first time I saw him wrestle, he was taking on Zema Ion. The second time, Jeff Hardy. And his third time was Chris Sabin. Okay, well, we had a great show. It was the finals of the TNA Tag Team title number 1 contendership tournament. Samoa Joe and Loki taking on the Hardys. The winners get the title shot against the Wolves. Also, we had TNA Knockouts champion Havok defending the Knockouts title against the former champion Gail Kim. Also, a hardcore tag team match. Bram and Magnus taking on the team of Tommy Dreamer and Devon. And we had the confrontation between the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the It Factor, Bobby Roode, and the former champion, the Dominator, Bobby Lashley. So, let's just jump right into it and get to things. Got a lot to talk about. We're also going to talk about the latest news, what's going on with TNA, and what's going to happen. So hold on your seats. We're in for a good ride, guys. We started off, and I'm surprised they started off with this, but they started off with Samoa Joe and Loki versus the Hardys, and this was a good match. Loki and Joe have meshed into a pretty good tag team, and we know the Hardys, awesome tag team as there is. Anyway, we had Loki and Joe had control for the beginning of the match. Nice springboard shine kick from Loki onto Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy was able to counter and came back with the elbow off the ropes, and then he tagged in Jeff, who came in with a double reverse wheelbarrow slam for a 2. He slams Loki in the corner and good kicks. Joe comes in and breaks it up. Jeff hits Whisper in the ring on both men and tags in Matt, who comes in, hits some clotheslines and some forearm sharts. Loki comes back with a clothesline before Matt hits the side effect for a 2 count. And then he's got Joe in the ring working on him and hits a bulldog while also clotheslining Loki, who's in the ring. So it's a back and forth match, but finally they had Loki up. At one point Jeff is able to break up a pin attempt by hitting the swanton, and he hits both Loki and Joe. Loki is able to block the twist of fate from Matt Hardy trying to set up for, or actually on Jeff trying to set up for the key crush. However, Jeff blocks it. Matt helps out with poetry in motion, swanton bomb, and Matt Hardy finishes up with a moonsault. 1, 2, 3. The Hardys advance in the tournament. They get the title shot against the Wolves. So, who are going to be the TNA Tag Team Champions? If the Hardys are successful and defeat the Wolves, the Hardys add to their legacy former WWE World Tag Team Champions, former WCW World Tag Team Champions, and then they would add the TNA Tag Team titles to their resume. Of course, as you know, the Dudleys, it's Team 3D, have held every major championship. They've held the WWE Tag Team titles, the WWE/World Tag Team titles, the ECW Tag Team titles, the WCW Tag Team titles, the NWA Tag Team titles, the IWGP Tag Team titles, the TNA Tag Team titles. You call it, they've held it all. The only titles that they have not held is the AWA Tag Team titles, because, of course, the AWA was out of business by the time the Dudleys made the scene. And I'll do a little research on this, but I do believe that one tag team that are Triple Crown champions, and that is the Road Warriors, held in the AWA, the NWA, and the WWE, at that time, WWF World Tag Team titles. Great tag team match. Hey, Joe and Loki, great chemistry. They just had late breaking news that Joe is injured, which that is old news, really. But, hey, TNA, got to make it sound like it's the latest craze. Sorry about my hair. Head's itching. So, down the road, can Loki and Joe come together and mesh as a tag team and really be a contendership for the tag team titles? Who knows? Down the road, we may see. But for now, the Hardys are in the driver's seat. They get the title shot against the Wolves. When that title shot will happen, it's, I don't know. Could be next week. It could be the week after. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now, this is a strange segment. We had Brittany and Samuel Shaw come down the ring. And whoo, the outfit Brittany's wearing. You got to shave before you go out in an outfit like that. And I don't mean your legs. Anyway, came out. Samuel Shaw tries to explain why he turned his back on Gunner. He thought that Gunner was a friend and someone, he could look up to. Brittany jumps in real quick and says, Gunner ain't nothing to you. And Christy Hemme couldn't appreciate your artistic genius like I can. And then she starts licking his face, and we have a total makeout session. It's... Ooh, well, Gunner comes out and cuts him off and says, tells him that they're starting to make him feel sick. And that there's something wrong with Shaw. He says, you don't want to be like me. You want to be me. And Gunner starts calling them creepy bastards, which, gets on their nerves. Shaw goes to attack Gunner, but Gunner blocks him, and we have a melee with Gunner having the upper hand until Brittany jumps in his back, trying to put him in a sleeper and such. But it's enough to allow Shaw to low blow Gunner, and then he throws Gunner into the ring post. Brittany hands him black gloves. His black gloves, he puts them on, and he puts his signature chokehold on Gunner, taking him out and leaving him flat on the mat as they make out and leave the ring. Whew, I don't know what to think. It's a little disturbing watching them make out, but hey, I don't know. I'm kind of liking this new Brittany character, but just gotta wait and see where it's going to go. I'm sure we're going to see a match between Gunner and Shaw. When's it going to be? Is it going to be next week or the week after? I don't know. But I definitely expect to see a match between these two in the next 2 weeks. But it was a creepy segment, but if you want to watch it, go right ahead. It wasn't a bad segment at all. It's just a little creepy. But when Shaw versus Gunner happens, I'm sure Brittany will be at the side of Shaw. So we'll just have to wait and see how it's all going to turn out. Yay, we had a hardcore tag team match. Magnus and Bram taking on the team of Tommy Dreamer, the innovator of violence, and Devon. Not a bad match. A lot of weapons, trash cans, trash lids, steel chairs, kendo sticks, steel ring rod, You name it, they used it. As Bram and Magnus was coming down the ring, Dreamer and Devon jumped them before the match began, and it was a waylay. The best spot in the match, I have to say, was when Magnus and Bram tried to double suplex Tommy Dreamer off of the top rope, only for Devon to hit the Tower of Doom, and it took everybody out. Everybody was sore and battered. There was a nice spot where Magnus took out, I believe it was Devon with the ring post steel rod, as Bram usually does. There was at one point that Bram nailed Dreamer with a steel chair, and then Magnus hits the clothesline, knocking him into another chair. Devon was getting, at one point, was going to be suplexed for Bram, but blocked it and slammed Bram through a table. Magnus, toward the end of the match, came in and he took everybody out with a kendo stick, but he got caught, and Dreamer got the kendo stick back and just waylaid him. Dreamer was then able to slam Magnus into a chair in the corner, and he followed it up with a spike DDT to get the win for his team. The interesting fact is it was Magnus who got pinned, not Bram. So it might be TNA's way of protecting Bram, because, you know, they're trying to promote him as the new king of hardcore. And I have to say, Bram has been very impressive in these hardcore matches. You know, Monsters Ball match, Stairway to Janice, all these hardcore street fight matches. He's been very impressive, and it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with him. I think he's going to be your next top hardcore guy. You got you know, Abyss, who's always been it. So it's nice to see a new guy get you know, a push. And where Magnus goes, that's going to be interesting to see what he's going to go, since he's been in the main event picture. But anyway, Tommy Dreamer and Devon got the win, so we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen with them. I look for maybe Devon to have one more match, and then that's going to be it, because his contract's up and they did not renew, so we'll just have to wait and see. Tommy Dreamer is currently a producer backstage, so we may see a little more of him, maybe mix it up with Bram, but we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, Rockstar Spud comes down to the ring to be interviewed by Jeremy Borash. Jeremy Borash talks about him being in British boot camp, the very first British boot camp, and how he won fans over. And Spud talks about how rough it's been, but you know, that Dixie Carter's been there for him, and that he would do anything for Dixie Carter, and he would do anything for his best friend, Ethan Carter III. But Ethan just went off the deep end, and he, you know, said that he turned on him for an honest mistake for being himself. Well, Ethan Carter III, EC3, comes down with his new bodyguard Tyrus to confront Spud and tells him that he needs to apologize to him, which Spud refuses. So Tyrus manhandles Spud around, and finally Spud says, I apologize for you being a douchebag. And of course, that just pisses EC3 off more, and he's about to beat the shit out of Spud. Jeremy Borash tries to interfere, and then EC3 slaps him down to the mat, telling him that was stupid move, telling Jeremy Borash that. We hear his music hit. It's showtime! Eric Young coming down to the ring with steel chair, chasing off Tyrus and EC3. So I think we're going to see the team of Rockstar Spud and Eric Young continue as they feud with EC3 and Tyrus. Will we see a tag team match next week between the two, or the week after? I don't know, but I expect to see the match in the next 2 weeks. Why do I keep saying this? Is because the TV tapings takes TNA all the way through the 19th of this month. So if they're going to have the match, it's either going to be next week or the week after. But we'll just have to wait and see. You can skip this segment, okay? I'm not a fan of Rockstar Spud. I'm just not impressed with the guy. He does not impress me. I'm sorry, he does not. So if you're a fan of Rockstar Spud, great. If you're not, even better. It's up to you. I'm just telling you how I got it, and how I feel, and it doesn't do anything for me. So. Okay, wow. Gail Kim got her rematch against Havok for the TNA Knockouts title. As Gail Kim's coming down the ring, she is attacked by Havok, and they have a brutal, I mean brutal fight on the outside of the ring. Havok worked on Gail's shoulder with that wing type armbar slam type maneuver and rammed her into the ring post. I mean, brutalized her and just beat the crap out of her outside of the ring. This was several minutes. Gail tried to fight back several times. It looks like she was making a comeback, but I mean, and they even fought up to the main entranceway, and Havok threw her off and down into the floor. They went to commercial and they came back and basically was saying the match was off because Gail Kim cannot compete. But Gail got on the mic and says, no, this match is happening. And I thought this match was awesome. Gail sold it being the underdog, and Havok did a great job being the dominant opponent. Gail was impressive coming back with a nice drop kick on Havok. There was also, she got the hit, finally got the hit, the eat defeat. It was nice to see that, but I mean, it was just several times that Havok was just dominating. But you know, it was nice to see Gail fight. She was setting up for the eat defeat at one time, but then Havok countered with the hammerlock slam. She was calling for the Harlot Slayer, but Gail recountered, with the eat defeat. But Havok was able to kick out of it, and Gail went to top rope for a top rope move, but Havok catched her on the way down. She hit the Harlot Slayer, and she got the win. Oh my God, this match was so good. Gail sold the injuries. She sold being the underdog. And Havok was very impressive as the dominating knockout. And she does such a great job of doing that, it makes you wonder who is going to be able to beat her for the Knockouts title. Okay? You've got Angelina Love, you've got Velvet Sky, you got Madison Rayne, you got Taryn Terrell. Okay, you have those four. And you can count Brittany, 5. Brooke is, I think, A, she's out with an ACL injury, but also B, she can't compete because she's currently on the Amazing Race, and I think they have a stipulation that you cannot be on another TV program while participating in the Amazing Race, or while it's airing in the Amazing Race that you participated in. So, and that explains why Robbie Yee hasn't been on TV, by the way. Great match. I don't know what more to say, but you gotta watch it. This was the match of the night, in my opinion. I think the Knockouts knocked it out of the park. This was not like a 5-minute match. This was a good 10, 12-minute match. So, but counting, from the start of when Gail was attacked to the end of the match, it could have been, 15 minutes. I didn't time it out, but it was not 5 minutes. I can tell you that. Go and watch this match. If you don't watch any match from Wednesday's night in Impact Wrestling, you gotta watch Havok versus Gail Kim. It was a great match. I'm telling you right now, you gotta go and watch it. Okay, earlier in the match we had Bobby Roode in the ring, Kurt Angle congratulating the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion Bobby Roode, and Bobby Lashley in the ring with MVP and Kenny King. And of course MVP starts running his mouth, talking about, you know, how Lashley filled in for him, and Roode talking about how you kept me out when you were running things. And of course MVP belittles Angle, accusing him of trying to play in politics, and demands that he get the title shot for the TNA World Heavyweight title. Surprisingly, Kurt Angle asks Bobby Roode if he would defend the title tonight against MVP, which he says yes. Now this pisses off Bobby Lashley, who doesn't say anything. Later in the night, we see Bobby Lashley pack his stuff up and leave and blow off MVP, who just can't believe that he's doing this. So we have the match. MVP gets offense in a little midway into the match. He gets on the outside of the floor and hits a big boot and slams him on the floor and then on the steps. He rolls Roode back in for a near fall, but he doesn't get it. He hits Roode in the ring corner, but Roode is able to come back and catch MVP into a quick suplex. MVP comes back, snaps Mares Roode, and then hits a nice kick in the face on Roode. He sets Roode up for the drive-by, but Roode is able to block it and hit the Roode bomb. 1, 2, 3, he retains the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. After the match, Bobby Lashley comes out of nowhere, spears Roode, and then blows off MVP when MVP asks him to help him up, and completely blows him off. So what does this mean with Bobby Lashley? I don't know. I'm sure we're going to see a rematch between these two probably next week, if not the week after for sure. This was a short match. It could have been better, but it just was average and nothing to get excited about. So if you missed the match, it's okay. Nothing to get too excited about. It wasn't a bad title defense for Bobby Roode. I just wish the match went longer and such. So, but anyway, Bobby Roode still your TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Not bad Impact Wrestling. I'd say somewhere around 7. We had a great tag team match. Samoa Joe and Loki against the Hardys, with the Hardys becoming the #1 contenders to the TNA World Tag Team titles. When will they get their title shot? And can they defeat the Wolves for the TNA World Tag Team titles? Can they do it? We'll have to wait and see. Also, who is going to be the next opponent for Havoc? Who's it going to be, and can they defeat Havoc for the TNA Knockouts title? Gail Kim fought her heart out but couldn't get it done. By the way, I'm calling it right now. Havoc versus Gail Kim, match of the night. Superstar of the night, Gail Kim. No doubt in my mind about that. Gail put on a great performance. Bram, very impressive in the hardcore match. I think he's going to be your next hardcore type guy. So, very impressive. Rockstar Spud could have done without that segment. I understand it's the advanced storyline, but really could have done without it. That's my opinion. Bobby Roode versus MVP was a decent match. I think the key factor in this match is the tension now between Bobby Lashley and MVP. That's going to be interesting to see where they go with that. Okay, we only got 2 more episodes of Impact Wrestling. They only have 2 more tape episodes, and then they're out. I do know that the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, they will not be airing any Impact whatsoever. A repeat or clip show, nothing that night. Also, there's talk about them and not airing any Impact Wrestling whatsoever of any kind on the night before Christmas and the night before Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So we're going to have to wait and see. One thing that I have to say that I'm a little frustrated about is there have been no firm announcement of where TNA is going to be. We're in November now. It is do or die time. You got less than 8 weeks away, and then we're into the New Year. New Year is creeping up very damn quick, and it's going to be here before you know it. So I'd love to hear some kind of announcement. Where's TNA going? Are they staying with Spike TV? Are they going to WGA? Or are they going to Discovery Velocity or another network that we don't know about? Something's got to happen, and it's got to happen soon for TNA. You know, I was thinking to myself scenarios that could happen. Let's say the TV deal doesn't go through. TNA is done, in my opinion. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Without a U.S. TV deal, they're irrelevant. And I don't see them moving operations overseas. They'll just have to shut the doors. And that being said, what's going to happen? I can see Vince McMahon trying to buy the TNA library. Just to buy the video library. I can see him wanting that. But I don't see him buying up, you know, any of the contracts or whatsoever of that. But here's another thought. Jeff Jarrett could come in and buy all the property of TNA and absorb it into Global Force Wrestling. That could happen too. A lot of ifs, what's going to happen. Also, where's Superstars going to go? Out of everybody on the roster, I think the key guys, if TNA does close, that WWE need to look at, Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, the Cowboy James Storm. Those are top 3 guys that they definitely need to look at. On the Knockouts side, I don't see Angelina Love or Velvet Sky being picked up by WWE. Possibly Madison Rayne, very low chance. No way in hell for Taryn Terrell. Brittany has the better chance, and right behind her would be Rebel. I don't see Havoc getting picked up by WWE. So where does that leave the rest of everybody? I'd say that Jeff Jarrett would probably bring them into Global Force Wrestling, but we just have to wait and see. What does the future hold for TNA? Nobody knows, but we'll just have to wait and see him. And for all you TNA haters out there, it's like, ha ha ha, TNA's dying, we told you so. It's not over till the fat lady sings, and nobody should be wishing for a wrestling promotion to go under. Because if TNA does fall, not only do the wrestlers lose and the employees behind the scenes, we wrestling fans lose. Variety is the best thing in professional wrestling. Choices and variety. Okay, you don't like TNA, it's fine. You can watch something else. You know, Lucha Underground. You can watch WWE. If WWE is not doing it for you, you have TNA. You have Lucha Underground. You have other choices. Variety is good for business. So TNA closing and you wishing that TNA goes under is not good. So that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. All right, guys. My good friend, my buddy, my partner in crime, John Mayer, he's back with Independent Point of View. It's stronger. It's better than ever. You got to check it out on the Blog Talk Radio. You got to check it out. Also, don't forget about the wrestling debate. That's also on the Nerdport Network, and you can find that all on Blog Talk Radio. So you got to check that all out too. All right, I will be back next week with another edition of Making an Impact. For now, I've been your host, Simply Sensational Billy James. I'll catch you all next week.